I am that I am. Exodus chapter 3. God said unto Moses, I am that I am. I exist that I exist, Yahweh God of your fathers. Every letter of the Hebrew alphabet has a meaning corresponding to the letter. Yahweh, comprised of the Hebrew letters Yod, He, Vav, He, translates to hand, behold, nail, behold, and is revealed roughly 1,400 years before the coming of the promised Messiah, Jesus Christ our Lord. The concrete may as well have been hardened steel, and by reason of the coldness, it should have been a glacier. A mist forms before my face as I breathe out to test how cold it might be. A glassy chill set in as the sun hides itself on the horizon, but at least I have light and buildings to block the wind. I curl up inside my coat, leaving a small gap for fresh air, making every effort to conserve as much heat as possible, carefully listening to any threat that could arise. Gradually, I lose consciousness, my head resting on the closest thing to a pillow, my Bible. I've never felt this cold. I had hoped my breath would keep me warm under my trench coat. It's not enough just a couple of hours of sleep. I can feel the bones in my feet fracturing further as I casually limp the street light spattered sidewalks just to keep warm. Unless I keep moving, I will freeze to death before the sun rises. Sun, please rise. I'm familiar with my surroundings, and it's not that I had grown up there or been there any length of time. I just somehow am completely immersed in all that I am sent to do. Could be that my survival depends on keen observation and a mental map of my surroundings. Every person must be carefully discerned. It's hard to come to terms with this understanding, as Jesus told his disciples, "Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves." You must understand that not everybody you meet has your best interest at heart. Be alert, be wise, be discerning. Warfare is happening in spiritual places and heavenly realms, and you are a soldier for the kingdom of Messiah. For his name you are hated and despised, an outcast in many circles, even circles you were once greeted with gladness. Jesus said, "You did not choose me, I chose you." That makes the most sense, because initially I was bolting recklessly toward destruction. Angels and demons set in continual conflict over the realm of man. Demons will possess people, and sometimes it's enough to cripple the host's life. You can feel it in their spiritual pressure, sense it in their essence. Their presence seems to carry a dark cloud, and your own resonance echoes danger. 2 angels were sent to Sodom and Gomorrah to seek after 10 righteous men. Abraham pleaded with the Son of Man that if 10 righteous men could be found, the cities would be spared the great fiery judgment. Angels manifested among men and searched the city. None were worthy, saving Lot and his 2 daughters. Lot's family and the angels made haste out of the city before God's fiery wrath of brimstone fell with great judgment. Lot's wife clung to the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, and stopping and looking back, she was turned into a pillar of salt as fire and brimstone meteors showered wonderfully upon the city. Across the quiet street, 2 cops watch me through the windshield of their warm car, gas sputtering from the muffle. With a shivering hand, take 3 or 4 newspapers to cover myself, the letters blurring in and out under the streetlight. Returning to my concrete bed, I unfold the newspapers. I am hopeful that these will be enough to calm the biting chill that seems to overwhelm my entire being. Thankfully, I've already survived the worst of it. Snow and freezing temperatures are enough to kill a person, and it does happen from time to time. I'll see spring turning summer if I don't die before then. Upon the edge of winter and threshold of spring, the days are decent most of the time, but the nights are still an eternity of hard shifts. I've learned compassion for the other homeless. I feel their pain, and it shakes me to my core. One night we lined up under a bridge. Good Samaritans handed out blankets and food. Everyone ate, But not everyone had gotten a blanket. Chaotically needy people came seeking help of any kind. Perhaps more than that, human kindness. Only then might this world be less dark. Weathered faces. I see an ocean of despair. Nearly every one of them drug-addicted, crazy, mentally ill, drunk, and most of them high even as we speak. Symptoms of a dying society. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws them, and I will raise them up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, they will all be taught by God. Everyone who has heard the Father and learned from him comes to me. John 6:44-45. Called by Jesus Christ to the faith, I've traveled many years as a homeless wanderer in search of God. From sleeping on city sidewalks under streetlights, or a ditch somewhere at the edge of the city light, to the open wilderness, and sometimes with no supplies saving my trench coat, which provided moderate protection from the elements, although still lacking, especially when compared to our modern technologies and comforts. Sometimes I would sleep cross-legged on the sidewalk. Looking back, I miss it. Jesus said, "The foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head." Matthew 8:20. I took Jesus seriously. Without a blanket and only a Bible for a pillow, I endured incredible hardships which no doubt would have broken the faith of many. Before the suffering of the cross, after the Last Supper when Jesus gave his body and blood, Jesus said to Peter, "Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren." To be sifted as wheat in the times past. Wheat was sifted by separating the chaff, which is the hard outer shell surrounding the edible grain. This was done by using a flail to smash the wheat until the edible grain and chaff laid separate in a heap. The grain was then gathered into a basket and tossed into the air like a chef flips a dish in the pan. Then the wind would blow the chaff away, leaving the grain in the basket. There is no doubt in my mind I had been sifted as wheat as well as my predecessors, tested in the furnace of affliction. Isaiah 48:10. Behold, I have refined you, but not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. I see the signs taking place as foretold in the book of Revelation written by John, who is one of the 12 apostles. Even now, the Spirit of God is moving through me stronger and stronger. Nothing is more important than sharing the gospel. It has become increasingly urgent, necessary, and I am immersed in this calling.